Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am sharing another family home, and this time it's a family home for the Sigworth family that came with the new pack of Strangerville. And originally they live in this house. I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of plain and boring looking to me, so I really wanted to rebuild them a brand new home for my save file because I have officially decided that there's no way around it. It's going to be included in my save file that I will be releasing. Of course, when we get new worlds after I release my save file, I will do updates. So hopefully this is the last world that we're getting before I finished what I've already been working on. But there's no way that I can go without using the new windows and doors for the next few months in most of my builds. So I am going to include it, but I'm really excited to build houses in this world. I finished a Victorian home that I need to share with you guys. I'm not sure if this is going up before that one or not. So we'll see how it goes, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to call this house yet either, because it is inspired by the house from the American Gothic painting, and I really like the way it turned out. It's a very simple home. Now, I didn't model it off of the house exactly. I did find this picture on Pinterest that was supposed to be like the real house for the inspiration of the painting. I'm not exactly sure if it was, but I basically used it for the front of the house and not the back of the house or the floor plan. So I made all of that up, but I'm just really pleased with the way this came together. I think the windows that came with this pack are perfect for that type of style of home. And this house is very modest. I wanted it to look really old, kind of unkept and not taken care of over the years, and I think that really suits this world very nicely, and I also feel like it really suits this family's story. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled about this family's story, I would definitely mute this. I mean, it doesn't give away anything about the actual world of Strangerville, but their story is that they are new to the town. The mother is in the military and she's been relocated here for work. So I imagine that they got the first house that they could afford. It's kind of old and run down. Maybe it had been abandoned or something, and they've just moved in and they're making it their own home. So I kind of wanted it to look kind of gross. Now, I didn't want it to look super gross, so I was trying to find like a nice balance. So hopefully I did that. You guys can let me know. I put a lot of those like cracks and scratches on the walls that we got from vampires, some of the stuff we got from this new pack, and then also I believe cats and dogs, we got some stuff too. And I used a lot of those kind of water stains on the windows, and I didn't want the windows to look dirty necessarily. My idea behind that was, after a long time, glass gets wavy. I used to live in this old Victorian house, and it was very old. I believe it was built in like the early 1800s, and it had a plaque on the outside of the house. It was super cool. It was like a historic home. I missed that house so much. It was really expensive at the time though, because I lived there when I was like 18, and I had a roommate, and she decided to move out because she couldn't afford it. She decided to move back with her parents anyways, and I couldn't stay living there by myself. And yeah, I'm really sad. It was a nice home. But anyways, the glass on that house, the windows were really wavy because the house was so old that the glass had actually over time had kind of dropped from the gravity. Do you guys know what I mean? Have you ever seen this before? It looks really cool. So when you actually look through the glass, it looked kind of wavy, almost as if it was like a hot day and you see kind of like the wave of the heat in the sky and everything's a little bit distorted. That's what it looks like, and that's kind of the effect I wanted those stains to make. Now it does kind of make the windows look dirty, and that's not necessarily what I was going for, but I still really like the idea, and I think it turned out pretty nice. But here I am working on the landscaping. I tried my best to make it blend into the world, but of course with this pack we didn't get any plants. I used those agave plants from the debug menu that I've been using a lot every time I do these more desert sort of environments or places that you might find cactus. I find them really useful. I really wish we would get another swatch of these rocks though that fit into this world, because the two red options that we have do not match the red rocks of this world. This has a very orangey sort of sandstone look to them, and the other ones just don't really match. I felt like this lighter one that I went with looked a little bit better than the darker red that we do have. So hopefully we will have an update to the rock colors eventually, because I'm not really sure if we have an issue in other worlds. Do the rocks that we have match the other worlds? Is it just this one? I think it is. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, I think we need more rock colors. That would be really nice to see. Oh, did you guys see, speaking of recolors, over on Twitter, SimGuruGram shared a picture of that really simple shelf that we have from base game, but in a plain white swatch. So that means within the next update or two, I imagine it'll be the next one, we will get that shelf in a plain white swatch, which was so needed because it's the most simple shelf that we have, and it works really nicely in, I think, both modern and traditional homes, so that's really nice. I love it when they recolor items from base game. I think it's really exciting, and then it's available to everybody, so that's always really nice too. But anyways, the exterior has basically come together. I'm just finishing up some of the landscaping. I have a couple seating areas outside. I put a dining table here in the back by the barbecue, and I keep the porches pretty simple. I do put a couple of potted plants. The dad in this family, I think, has some gardening skills, so he has some planter boxes outside, and it's kind of funny because I actually didn't look at their traits or anything. I only read their family bio before doing this house, and it all seemed to work out really nicely. Like, I knew the mother was in the military career, and then the dad, I forget what career he is in. Dylan is his name. He is unemployed, so of course he's unemployed. They're new to town, so I guess that makes sense, but he's into books and he's a genius and a perfectionist. So there's a computer in here. I kind of feel like that would be his space. He's a nerd brain too. Oh, I didn't know that. And so yeah, he's good at cooking. He has a really high level of cooking, actually. He's level 6 in the cooking skill. That's crazy. And level 2 in gardening, and he has some gourmet cooking skill too, so that's really nice. And then his wife, her name is Jess, and she is really fit. She's handy. She's charismatic, and so yeah. I don't really think there's necessarily anything in this house that works for that, but maybe the handiness skill, maybe she wants to fix up this house. I'm not exactly sure. But for the kid, her name is Christy, and she's an adorable child sim. She is active, she's social, she's very, very creative. She has a very high creativity skill. And this I was pretty excited about because as I was decorating her room, I wasn't really sure what I should add in there as far as like activities and skill building items. So I just added that arts and crafts table from base game, but it worked out perfectly because she is so creative. She's also really active, so the swing set outside gives her an activity to do. So it just kind of all came together really nicely, but we are on to the interior now, and I started off by decorating the kitchen, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. I think it's a really pretty kitchen. I really like these countertops that came from Vampires. I don't use them that often, even though I do think they're really pretty, but I especially felt like they just worked really nicely in this kitchen, especially in this green color. I thought was just so pretty. And then I don't end up putting an island. I do use this like older rustic dining table. I wanted it to look like an island, so I put that in the center here in the kitchen with a bar stool shoved up next to it. So it won't function as an island. I'm pretty sure your Sims won't be able to sit at this chair, and if they do, they won't be able to like sit there and eat necessarily. But it looks really nice. And then I sized up those hanging lights that we got from Laundry Day, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and I thought those looked really good. I also end up putting a washer and dryer here in the kitchen. Since this is going to be for my save file, I wanted to include laundry because I want most of my homes to have a washer and dryer, at least a spot for it. So that's what I ended up doing. It's not ideal. I don't necessarily want the washer and dryer to be in the kitchen, but maybe for an older home it makes sense. So I just put them right here. You can of course remove them if you don't want them, and if you still want to do laundry, you could do like the clothesline or add like a basement or something. I didn't include a basement in this home. I would have liked to, but I really didn't have like a great spot to do it. You could probably do like an outside cellar sort of entryway to a basement. I think that would probably work pretty nicely, but I decided not to. But here I am just cluttering up the counters. I cluttered up the counters quite a bit. I really wanted it to look pretty lived in. And I also really liked using those curtains from Cats and Dogs. I use them here in the kitchen, then I also use them in the living room, but in the bigger size of this version. I thought the plaid was really pretty and it kind of matched the color scheme that I was going for throughout this build. So I really liked that. And I also got a chance to use that new wall-mounted air conditioner. I just placed it here on one of the bedroom windows. I'm really excited about that item. I do think I changed the swatch though to be that green one with the rust on it. I think that swatch is really cool. And I just really like that item, so I was happy to be able to use it here. And then here in the center of the house is where I place the dining table. It's probably not the best location or floor plan for this house, but I think for an older home it works out okay, and I really like it. And I don't end up keeping this round dining table, by the way. I think the one that I end up going with is from Cats and Dogs. Yeah, this table right here, and I pair it with these chairs, which are also from Cats and Dogs. So I use that pack a lot in this build. It is one of my favorites. I probably overuse it, but it's a really nice pack. And I also used Laundry Day a lot, and then Vampires too, because of the kitchen and all of the cracks and scratches and things. I really liked making these pretty doors look more old. I mentioned when I did my build and buy overview that I would have liked to see a swatch that was more old looking, just to match the downtown vibes, because the downtown area of this world has such like a ghost town feel to it. Everything looks kind of abandoned. I would have really liked to see that with the windows and doors too, but creating it myself actually worked out really nicely. And here I'm just placing some of this gross wall slime that we got with the pack over these doors. I didn't put any cracks or scratches over them. I just used that slime, and it makes them look a little bit, just a little bit older, and the color's kind of faded. I think it turned out pretty well, and it doesn't block your Sims from entering the rooms at all. I did have my playtester Sim go through this house. I think I actually played in this house for, I think like a day and a half or something like that. So she ate and she slept and she watched TV and got to all of the things that she needed to without a problem. And I had to cancel the welcome wagon because I didn't want to see all of the craziness, because I really want to record some gameplay of this. And I've been doing really good at avoiding all of the spoilers. So I really want to experience it and share it with you guys. So that should be coming out soon. Actually, a first episode might come out before this build. I don't know. I've been really good about getting ahead of myself, so I'm trying to plan and schedule videos accordingly. So not exactly sure when I'm sharing this one at the moment, but here I am working on the living room. I also really like the way this room turned out. And like I mentioned, I did playtest this build because the placement of the bookcase in this living room, I wasn't really sure if the Sims were going to be able to get to, but my Sim had no problem pulling a book out of the shelf. So we'll see that here in just a second. And then I also end up placing that decoration that we got with Parenthood on the coffee table. It's that decoration that has all of the kids' arts and crafts supplies. It has like the little tackle box and then the crayons and the glue. It's a really adorable item. I like it a lot, but I felt like it would look nice here on the coffee table and make it feel a little bit more kind of homey and lived in. And then once I realized the daughter of this family was, you know, into arts and crafts and things, I felt like it made even more sense. So it just all worked out really well. But yeah, and I also really liked using these green couches, these ones that came with base game. I do use them a lot. These ones and the ones that came with cats and dogs are my favorite couches, and something I would have really liked to see from this pack. And since it didn't come with this pack, maybe if we get some sort of a starter home pack or a yard sale pack, I'm not exactly sure what it would come with, but I would really like to see couches that have ripped up fabric. We got kind of older looking ones with City Living that are in the same style, but I would really like to see this style of couch that has ripped upholstery where you could see like the stuffing underneath or like the wood frame of the couch. I think that would look really cool, and maybe some like kind of outdated patterns, but more neutral ones. That way they fit in a lot of different types of builds. I think that would be really cool. So it was something I wanted to see, and I thought it'd be a good idea, but it didn't come with the pack, but maybe in a future one. So we will see what happens. But anyways, I am moving on to the bathroom, and the bathroom is a pretty nice bathroom. It's kind of long and narrow, so it was kind of a bit awkward, but I think it turns out really nice. There's a shower and tub combo. This really older style one that we got with base game I thought looked really nice in here, especially in this green color. And then I just clutter up the countertops with some bathroom clutter. So we got the soap and the toothbrushes, and then this decoration that came with Parenthood that has the hairbrushes and the blow dryer. I really like that item a lot. I hope that we get more bathroom clutter like it, because I think that item is so usable. And then this is going to be the parents' bedroom. So their room is pretty simple. I go with this bed that is base game. I forget when we got this bed. It came with an update. It didn't come with the original base game, but it's a really nice bed. The color swatches aren't the best, but I felt like this one with the brown and green really worked for the overall color scheme of this house. And then I just pair it with this base game furniture that I actually use a lot. I really like these items because they look so rustic and worn. So the matching dresser and nightstand, and then I just put a table over here in the corner since there really wasn't a whole lot of space for like an office or anything. It's just kind of a little office corner that I imagine the dad uses, and I use the new laptop that came with this pack. And then I just put some clutter decorations around it, like that pencil decoration, and then this new clutter that has like the mixed papers and like files. I thought that looked really good. And then the painting above the bed is also new with the Strangerville pack, and I really like the desert scene. I felt like it worked really nicely. And then here I clutter up the dresser with a few random decorations, like some pictures and some tissues and a plant. And then I also placed these cookbooks, which I was really happy about since I learned that the dad has such a high cooking skill. I felt like it just kind of worked out really nicely that way. And now that I think about it, I think it'd be kind of cool if the dad would open up his own restaurant here in this world and maybe try to make it look a little bit nice and take care of it or something like that. I think that could be a fun story to play with. So we'll see what I come up with for my save file. But now I am moving on into the daughter's room, and I ended up using this bed from Cats and Dogs. I felt like, again, the brown and the green just kind of tied into the color scheme for this house. And then I ended up putting this older looking chair here in the corner that doesn't match anything. I thought that was kind of fun. It's also from Cats and Dogs, and then the side table as well. And then I just put some decorations around, like the backpack and the lunch pail, and then I put posters and a bunch of other decorations on the walls that I thought made it look more personalized. And I was going to use that dresser that came with, I'm pretty sure, Parenthood. I had it out just a little while ago, but I ended up using the one that matches the rest of the furniture in the parents' bedroom. I thought that was kind of nice, and again, I really like the rustic, worn down look of it. And of course, I cluttered it up with a bunch of decorations, and I put a poster above it. I used the one that came with the Get Famous expansion. I really like those posters a lot. I use them a lot ever since we got that pack. They're one of my probably most used items from that pack because I don't really use their furniture a whole lot. It's not really my thing. So, well, I guess the mid-century stuff is. I do use some of that, and the lamps. I do like the lamps, but the whole overly stylized, gaudy furniture, I haven't really used any of it. I probably should. Maybe when I do some builds in the pinnacles, because I definitely need to do that. But here I am placing the arts and crafts table, and I also gave her a school project and a journal, and then I just put a few other little decorations around, and I think it turns out to be a really cute kid's bedroom, so I hope you guys do like it. And this is basically it for the build. I just add a final few touches and decorations, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I thought it was a lot of fun to do, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshots. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Take a leap of faith, run with me. Clouds go by, and the sun is set high. And I believe you when you say that this is never gonna change. Say, would you like to spend your day with me always? Be brave, we don't need far too much, just stay brave beside me. Happy days, running on the open fields, yeah. Take on me, I'm worth your while. Honestly, I'm running a bit